So you might not have seen this thing, but this is basically the first piston extender design, the infinite piston extender design that I made. So let's leave it right there. You might have seen this 12 piston extender, which is basically infinitely expandable and which is expanded into 25 piston extender over here. Well, you might not have seen this then. This is also an infinitely expandable piston extender, but purely based on redstone. This design is by Ken2000. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I'll add the link in description. So basically, it extends, and when you pull this back, it will retract, and it extends and retracts really fast. Is the overpowered 101 piston extender. God, it's so long. Yes, 101 piston extender, and you can see how compact that is. Just look at it. That's super compact. It's a 101 piston extender. So let's start with extension. So here we go. Let's pull this first, and let's start with the extension. Looks like okay. We need to run a command first. /cal @e. Okay, so now it should start extending. Yeah, it's already extending. It will take a while to extend because it's really long. So basically it takes some time to extend. That depends on the clock you are using and your device and the lag and the render distance, many factors. And well, now you see it has already started extending. I guess it extended almost completely. So now you power this on and it should be extended completely. See, oh god, there's so much lag. So yeah, it's extended now. 101 pistons all the way extended. Now we need retraction. So first, to retract this system, we need to stop extending it first. So remove the extending, remove the power, and they should all come in a pattern ready for retraction. And when this happens, to the last piston, power this on. It should start sending a pulse, and we'll just wait here with this over here, and you should see this has started to retract all the way to the first piston. Well, oh, I forgot this. You need to remove this, pull this back to start the retraction, start the locking process of retraction. So here, slowly the locking is started. It takes a lot of time to retract as it is a 101 piston extender, but if you can see, the retraction process is actually really fast. Can you see how fast the locking process is? Right here, so that everything gets rendered properly and nothing is left behind in the lag. I mean, if you don't stay in the middle, what happens is pistons retract, and the pistons that are outside the render distance will remain like that, and the retraction process is broken then. While if you stay over here, the retraction will be complete. As you can see, it's slowly retracting, and I can't really show you the process from behind right now, because if I go there now, the game will just start lagging and the retraction process will break. So right now it's completely fine. So the retraction process is still going on. And it has reached its further phase, like almost retracting now. While it's still a lot of retraction remaining, it's still retracting better now. So we need to remain in a place where both sides of the system are completely rendered so that no lag is produced. So we'll just stay over here right now, and yeah, the process is going on. It's retracting slowly and steadily. Whew. So meanwhile it's retracting, let's also talk about how the system works. So it's basically the same thing, same concept as my old piston old piston extenders. The only difference is the compactness and the labor to make this. So so the system is now in its final phase of retraction and is almost retracted completely, except this glitch piston. Okay, so how does this system even work? It's still laggy even after the retraction has completed. So let's first stop this. Okay. So let's talk about how it works. So as you can see, a clock is sending periodic signals into this system from the end of the piston extender. So we were receiving periodic signals from here. One pulse, one tick pulse, periodic one tick pulses from there, which used to travel into these repeaters. Right now these repeaters are locked, but earlier they were not locked. So what's happening exactly over here is, as the signal travels, this observer detects a traveling signal and sends a signal. In this case, this signal will travel first over here, but let me show you without this. So first let me run a command /kill @all entities. Okay, so let me explain now. So the observer sends a signal which runs into this repeater, but as there is nothing in front of this repeater right now, nothing will happen. This continues further into the next observer, and then the next observer over here, and then the next observer over here, and for the next observer over here, and the next observer over here, and the one here. So when the last observer powers the redstone line, the signal travels into this block, from here into this dispenser, which has lots of villager eggs. These villagers fall on a pressure plate, which will power the pistons, which will power the redstone line, which will power the repeater, which will lock the repeater so that no further pulses can travel into the repeater. And after it has reached its max range of the signal is reached, this will power a new set. This will power this piston. After it has reached a certain length of signal strength, it will power this piston, which will push this block in front of the repeater. And as you know, the observers keep powering this repeater, but nothing happens because there is nothing in front of it. Now that there is a block in front of it, it will start spawning villagers on the new pressure plate, which will continue until the same process happens to this new pressure plate, and it will continue until it happens to this pressure plate, and will continue till this, and will continue till this, and will continue till this, until all the pistons are locked into their position. So that's it. Here we have dropper throwing item into this barrel, which then counts the item by a comparator and gives a respective signal, which goes on increasing as with increasing the number of items in the barrel, while this one sends villager with every pulse. And similarly, with increasing number of villagers, the signal increases, but it has a limit, after which similar modules keep repeating the process until all pistons are retracted completely. I'm going to use this design by Ken 2000, and the problem was the same. This design uses a lot of things going on at a moment, so basically the whole circuit keeps flashing at the same moment, which produces more lag, and the more is the lag, the more the system breaks on a when used on a larger scale. So I tried this design on a 101 piston extender, but the problem was again the same. It would get divided into a segment of 20 pistons, like 20 piston, 20 gap, 20 blocks of gap, then 20 pistons, and so on. So only this design produces the least lag, because as you can see, all this design has is signal running through this repeaters, observer detecting it and sending signals to the piston. That's it. And of the locking part, just increasing number of villagers and signal increasing slowly. That's it. So instead of the lag caused by villager spawning, rest system doesn't create much lag and is really efficient. While if you're making a piston, so a huge piston extender in survival, of course you won't do that for any reason. But even if you're doing that, I suggest to use this design rather than that one, because you can't get villager spawn X in survival. And also if you use another method, it will work on a short scale but not on a larger scale. It will create more lag on a larger scale. So that's it, I guess. And this thing is really huge. Look how long it is. I'm flying in creative mode just to get from its one edge to other, and this is completely built by me manually, because I tried using fill commands, but the problem with fill commands is if you fill in these observers and repeaters, they they are present over here, but they don't function. Like, they don't function at all. They won't receive signal, they won't give out signals, they won't function at all. They'll just stay over there. So all I had to do was do everything manually. I even tried cloning, but cloning works great for the design by Ken 2000. But in my design, I have modules, and I have to check whether the signal doesn't enter other module while it's being provided to one module. So for keeping all that in mind, I could not use clone command on my design, so it's more labor. So that's it for today. Bye.